Hey, what is the drill, Mr. Big Deals on love? All praise the Most High. He give me through all my lows. Lift me up. Spread me on his wings like an eagle. Love God to love yours to love others. It is a commandment. What we all know, you gotta work. You feel me? Be a legend. Create your own legacy. Don't do not be content with the European last name. That's why I created my own last name. We have to know our history. I'm gonna be dropping facts about our history. So I'm actually grateful for this read. Shout out big bro Trey Boogie. Love, good looking. So we up and we at it 1 a.m. session. Then we gonna catch us live 6 a.m. 6 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We're damn near trying to go live 3 times daily. It might be AM, PM. Who knows? But tap in. You always can come back and join the live, not watch the live, recap it. You know, we're gonna break it down and start posting it live up on the page. So I appreciate everybody who do that. It is all love, you know. It's a blessing. Love God to love yours. Because when you love yours, everything dang near come easy. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure, hey, if you want to become part of the Love Tribe on Love, hit the subscribe button. You subscribe, you're gonna be part of the Love Tribe. Hit the bell, shoot you the love mail. It's mandatory. This is gonna be a good read tonight. So I'm gonna let the loved ones pop in. You know, we do 2 minutes, so let's relax a little bit. You know, big blessings. I don't know why it don't be letting me go live on the Instagram. On the Instagram. Yeah, it's all love though. It's all love though. Figure it out. We'll figure it out. We ain't really tripping though. You feel me? Let's bring it to the stage at late night read on love though. Segregated faculties, facilities. Apologies. We got to read more. I got to read more, especially when I continue to learn how us as people, we do not know how to read. But we can read a playbook though. You feel me? We can read a playbook though. Let me show y'all what's today read gonna be. What's the read gonna be? Hey, I don't really need a on this beat. Hey, no extras. No extras. You don't need the extras. I don't need the extras. I could. We're gonna up here. We're gonna up there. We're just gonna go on inside and let the people read. You feel me? Segregated faculties are no longer explicit ban. See why we all gotta learn to read. Explicitly banned in federal courts. Even then, though, the English language, we're talking about that the English language is one of the most difficult languages to learn and read. It is annoying. There we go. Explicitly. Segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts. Explicitly. Y'all know I'm a little dyslexic, so the words be tricky, so I understand. The Trump administration cut a clause from federal contracting rules that had been on the books since the 1960s. Waiting room for colored only. By order of the police department. It's the history of this. I gotta throw this on a T. I never trust T. Their job is to catch us. Our job is not to get caught. And our job is not to get caught doing nothing. Not crime, nothing. They see us doing nothing, they own us. Feel me? So we can't even relax out here. This story originally appeared on NPR. After a recent change by the Trump administration, the federal government no longer explicitly prohibits contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. I don't know. The federal government no longer explicitly prohibits contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Who knew that still occurred? That is wild. The segregation clause. Let me write this down. Chair up a little. Let me take it down a little bit. Oh, that wasn't too smart, y'all. Oh, we did it. My bad, Rolly. You know, you gotta get whenever you read, write notes too. If you can go back over, the brain works too much for you to think you're gonna remember. It's really a joke. Drop some love in the chat too. Let me know what's the drill. Keep it popping, no pills. You feel me? But I'm numb to it, so y'all probably can't feel it. But no. Call in. I gotta get the call in number 2 though going. Call in. You feel me? You can also join. Let me know if you want to join. Federal contracts. Yes, sir. 2 a.m. It's the date. You know, it's today's date, time. Trump administration. Trim that man. Cut a clause. Since 1960s. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, my bad. Nobody probably hopped on here anyway, though. Back let me in app on my other. You feel me? What time is it? It's time to get that back. And on contractors having segregated rooms and drinking rooms. The segregation clause is one of the several identified in a public memo issued by the General Services Administration last month, affecting all civil federal agencies. The memo explains that it is making changes prompted by President Trump's am I tired or what? Executive order. Let's run from a jump. The memo explains that it is making changes prompted by President Trump's executive order on diversity, equality, and inclusion, which repealed and just goddamn read that word. Let me come on. It's just like I said, the goddamn language. I gotta read more because I know what that say, but I don't pronounce it enough. Order signed by President Lyndon Johnson, executive. So it's like, even I'm looking at like, why you gotta read more for your brain to get it? EXE, why? Executive. Okay, you see the Q-tip, go to the back. Exec. So where's exec? That's the E, that's the XE, exec, executive. White boy weird. Order signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965 regarding federal contractors and non-discrimination. The memo also addresses Trump executive order on gender identification. Going on Instagram real quick. I ain't gonna do the photo. I ain't gonna do the photo on me like that, y'all. That's Sersky. You see the kids app. You see the kids app. Okay. While there are still state and federal laws that outlaw segregation and discrimination that companies need to comply with legal experts say this change to contracts across the federal government is significant. Quote, it's symbolic, but it's incredibly meaningful in its symbolism, says Melissa Murray, a constitutional law professor at New York University. End quote. These provisions that require federal contractors to adhere to and comply with federal civil rights laws and to maintain integrated rather than segregated workplaces were all part of the federal government's efforts to facilitate the settlement that led to integration in the 1950s and the 1960s. These provisions that require federal contractors to adhere and to comply with federal civil rights laws and to maintain integration, whether it's segregation workers were all part of federal government's say, quote unquote. The fact that they are now excluding those provisions from requirements for federal governments, I think it speaks volumes. Wait. Am I reading this wrong? Hey, buddy, this is, this today, Rio. I don't know why I don't be letting me go live with the stream joint, though. Because, we lie, though. You feel me? We turned it to the gym, though. You feel me? That's going to the podcast room. You feel me? She in this thing, though. It's official. Miss Ersky. Let's get back to it. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Deleted mentions of drinking fountains, transportation, and housing. And just by the way, we really had our own. I know I'm going to keep going. We really had our own goddamn busing system. It was great when we were segregated. Let's go there. On LUVE, we had everything. We had everything. Y'all start me up. I ain't going to show y'all this. We had everything. I'm going to give it all this. What all did we have? Did blacks have when they were segregated? What did we have? I should know this off the top of the head. During segregation, the Black Americans had their own parallel institutions, businesses, and cultural spaces due to racial discrimination and exclusion from white dominant establishments. While these were often underfunded and faced systematic obstacles, they played a crucial role in fostering resilience, community, and roots. Woo! That was fire. No extras. Yeah, that's fire. Here, let me show y'all real quick. Share this, boom. I gotta write that down so I can keep repeating that to myself. During segregation, BA, Black Americans. Had their own parallel. Institutions, businesses. Now I wonder how many black businesses we got really thriving in our community. And culture spaces due to racial. Yeah, we had to. That's the thing. We had to. discrimination, and exclusion. Exclusion from whites. White dominated, my bad. White dominated establishments. Dominated, my bad. My bad. Y'all work out today. Make sure y'all work out today. Establishments. Yeah, I gotta keep that going. These were often underfunded, and faced systemic obstacles. At least I hate that word. They play a crucial role in fostering resilience, community, and progress. Come on. Look at us, though. I'm off just to go back to the personal. Just great. Let me see what's going on with the Facebook family real quick. I guess I gotta hop on here. I don't even know if they got me live. Yes, sir. They do. There we go. I can manage the video. Oh, it's smooth. Yes, sir, Skeeto. Oh, no, this is solid. I can hit y'all. Do you love yours? Y'all hear Rolly, excuse me. Nope, I'm a hater. Save. Boom, Craig Poll. Yes, sir, Ski. Boom. Damn, Rolly girls. Y'all hear cutting up like that? Oh, shit. I'm trying to get the comments, but it's cool. Back to it though. Let's say because we don't want this too long. Keep it 30. Black-owned businesses, economy. We got hotels. Not everything. Banks and insurance companies. Black-owned institutions like North Carolina Mutual. North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. Helped build financial independence, barbershops, black schools, HBCUs. They're talking about this year that. Of course, we had that. I know we had oil rigs and some oil industry. Black workers in the oil industry but face discrimination. I could have swore see what they're talking about. Yes. Who struck oil and became worthy to despise me. Black oil success. Oklahoma. Ag oil success. Okay, see. Ain't that just amazing though? Let's get back to the read. Deleted mentions of drinking fountains, transportation. The clause in question is in the Federal Acquisition Regulation, known as FAR. A huge document used by agencies to write contracts for anyone providing goods and services to the federal government. Clause 5.2.222.21 of the FAR is titled Prohibition of Segregation Faculties. Prohibition. That is wild. That is wild. The contractor agrees that it will not maintain or provide for its employees in any segregation facilities at any of its establishments, and that it does not and will not permit its employees to perform their services at any location under its control where segregated facilities are maintained. Well, it defines segregated facilities at work areas, restaurants, drinking fountains, transportation, housing, and more. And it says you can't segregate based on race, color, religion, sex orientation, gender identity, and or national origin. Several federal agencies, including the Departments of Defense, Commerce, and Homeland Security, have notified staff who are receive federal contracts that they should start instituting these changes. A recent notice from the National Institutions of Health shows that the change is already in effect. The notice regarding a maintenance agreement for scientific freeze dryers cities the GSA memo and reads FAR 52.222 tag 21 prohibition of segregated facilities and FAR 522 26 equal opportunity will not be considered when making award decisions or enforce requirements. To be clear, all businesses that those that have government contracts and those that do not still need to follow federal and state laws, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which makes segregation facilities illegal. And effectively, admittedly, one federal worker who works on contractors says that they were shocked when they received notice about the FAR changes from their agency. NPR has agreed not to identify the worker because they fear being fired for speaking to the media without authorization. They said that the process used to institute these changes without a typical public notice or comment period of 45 to 90 days, usually reserved for national emergencies. Quote, the way that they're implementing this in the contracting field is essentially subverting democracy. You're supposed to allow agencies to commit on this, contracting officers to comment on it and think through the implications carefully. The worker said by doing this, they're essentially ramming things through hoping no one's going to notice. The GSA, the General Service Administration, did not answer NPR's question about why the agency did not follow the usual public notice and comment procedure, or a question about why the segregated facilities clause was removed. In statement, GSA spokesperson Will Powell wrote, GSA has taken immediate action to fully implement all current here we go excuse your CEO, the goddamn executive, all current executive orders and committed to taking action to implement all new executive orders. Recent history. Kara S., an attorney at the Wiley law firm in Washington, D.C., which specializes in federal contractors, speculates that the provision was flagged because it was revised under the Obama administration to include gender identity. That change was made, she said, quote, to implement an Obama-era executive order 123672. And that executive order from the Obama administration is one of those that President Trump, in his second term, rescinded. She explains, and so along with Trump's other executive orders about gender identification, I would suspect that the reason why one of these got identified on the list. The memo does not say to exclude just the gender identity part of the clause. However, it says to exclude the whole thing. Murray, the law professor, says racial segregation is not far away in history as it may seem. She remembers a trip to Washington, D.C. in 1985 when her father, a Jamaican immigrant, took her to the Woodland and Lothrop department store where he had worked and when he'd been a student at Howard University. She thought he had been a salesman at the store, which closed in 1995. He like, nah. I only worked in the back because black people weren't allowed to be on the sales floor. She recalls, when it comes to segregation in America, she says it's not far removed at all. It's not. We don't know. We act like, man, it was less than 100 years ago, all these things that they've done to us. We can always do a list. Remind us, it wasn't that long ago. Some people are 100 plus. What are we going to call it? What's that term? Is it cruciating? That occurred to blacks in the last 100 years. Let's see. The Tulsa Rice Massacre, the lynching and racial terror. Let's get this off. Apologies. Thousands of black people were lynched across America. The Jim Crow laws was a motherfucker. Hurricane Katrina was cold and government neglect. Yeah, that was cold. That was cold. Let me see. When and who was the last black person lynched by whites? Okay, we gotta talk about this. We'll talk about this right here. Where's that photo? It was some Mexican kids that wore a nigga shirt. Yeah, good. Yeah, Shark Survival podcast. I know they probably got it up. I know they probably got it up. Hey, having every day. Dang, what high school? Let me see. How can we search this? High school students. Why it's not even on Google? I don't know why. It's cool. That's why I get tricky with Google. Gotta stop acting like Google. Yeah, okay. Hey, Google, tell us everything, man. Okay, say Michael Donald was one of the last black people hung in 1981. Wasn't that long ago. That was what, 44 years ago around. Yep. We're going to talk about Michael, man. Everybody got a name. Michael Donald, 19. Randomly. Ku Klux Klan. After a failed attempt to get guilty verdict for a black defendant in the court case, Klan members wanted revenge. They kidnapped Donald, beat him, cut his throat. They still alive. The FBI investigator, gave those Haynes was sentenced to death and executed in 1991, making the first white man executed for killing a black person in Alabama since 1913. This is wicked. I need a whole page just for Mobile, Alabama. Oh, I got it. Acts of black hate. We're gonna call it black hate. Yeah, Sersky. Facts. History and truths. Yes, Sersky. Michael Donald. Hey, let me end this. Y'all know why if you're calling. I'm calling.